back. Hey guys, what's up? It's imuRgency. Ooh. Damn, it's been a while. Hey guys, what's up? It's imuRgency. Welcome back to my channel. And today we are finally here. We're back. It's been a while since we've done like a good old Let's Talk. But today we're talking about Elite Season 5. And yes, you heard me right. Season 5. We're 5 seasons in. And honestly, I don't know how to feel about that because last time I checked, high school was only 4 years. How are they still here? But like I said, today we are here to break down, chit chat, and dissect Elite Season 5, as well as give a little bit of commentary on some themes that I saw, specifically that have to do with, como se dice, daddy issues and the thirst for male validation, because I feel like that pretty much sums up the entire season, to be honest. But I can't wait. I'm super excited. I hope you are too. Let's talk about it. Before we get into anything, if you are new, then hit that subscribe button. It's free, and why not? I do show reviews, pop culture commentary, and trope analyses on this channel, so if any of that sounds interesting to you, hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video because that helps out a lot with the algorithm. And if you want to follow me on my other social medias, I am pretty active over there on TikTok and Instagram, as well as Twitter. They're all at imuRgency, and I think that's all I have to plug. Oh, also check out my second channel because I'm about to post a new video there. It's a Q&A, I think. Yeah, go check that out. Anyways, let's talk about Elite Season 5. I will say first and foremost, I know popular opinion. About a year ago, I made a review on Elite Season 4, and honestly, I didn't hate it. A lot of people did though. A lot of people did not like Season 4, and I could see why. They introduced a bunch of new characters. None of the plot really made sense, and they just like got rid of 2 or 3 of them. Just cause Season 5, in my opinion, is a breath of fresh air because it's good. It's just genuinely good. It feels more like Elite Seasons 1 through 3. Like it feels like that type of energy without many of the problems that we suffered in Season 4. And let's talk about why. Let's just be honest and admit that Season 5 was Patrick's season. Manu Rios acted his ass off. He was fighting for that check because his delivery this entire season was just gold. And honestly, anytime Manu's on screen, I am just happy because like, look at him. Look at him. He's pretty and he knows it. And Manu's whole plot line, if you remember from Season 4, was that he's just like very lonely. Like he wants to feel appreciated. Of course, he's part of the problem to a certain extent because he does invest a lot very early, as well as have a tendency to try and get revenge where not necessary. But he's just lonely. He's tired of like meaningless hookups and stuff like that, and he's looking for something more because no one really sticks around him for too long, and he wants someone to fill that void. And of course, who comes along but new character number 1, Yvonne, little Portuguese baddie, pops up out of nowhere and is like, I'm gonna flirt with you, but I'm straight. I'm gonna get in the same bed with you and cuddle you, but I'm straight. I'm gonna grab you in the shower, but you guessed it, I'm, say it with me now, straight. And and honestly, I was as confused as Patrick this season because I'm like, how this add up? And to make things even messier, Yvonne is just a male menace. Let's say it. Yvonne's a male menace. Not only is he playing Patrick, but then he goes and plays Patrick's sister, Ari. And I'm like, what? How are you 2-timing them both? And Yvonne's like, I have such love for both of them. I just really want to be with both. I'm like, it's really giving Ari Season 4, to be honest. Like, pick a side. You can't do both, especially since they're literally siblings. But then this might be a controversial opinion, I don't know. Don't hate me for it. Actually, you can hate me for it if you want. But my thing is, how is Yvonne getting off scot-free? Like, how is it okay that he's 2-timing Patrick with his sister, but then Patrick's the bad guy when he goes and hooks up with his dad? You know? Like, how's that work? Like, how is Patrick the bad guy for hooking up with Yvonne's dad after Yvonne hooks up with Patrick's sister? Patrick literally said, if we go in the family, you go low, I go to hell. Because that is how. And the dad is just a whole other story because what? Why does Elite normalize these inappropriate relationships with a clear adult and a high school student? Because this is the second season. Like literally second season, same family, that these adults are grooming these high school age kids. And that's just like not addressed. I mean, the first adult last season kind of got axed, which is kind of the plot of this season. But Yvonne's dad kind of just like gets off scot-free. So I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess. Although I will say, the dad had me dying in the scene where Patrick confronts him being like, you're gay. And his dad's like, no. And Patrick goes, bye? And the dad goes, no, ni bi ni tri, soy futbolista. And honestly, me too. I thoroughly think that that was improv. Like, I don't think that was a part of the script because the way that Manu just started laughing after he said that, like, that could not have been in the script. That had to have been made up because what? What? You're not gay, you're a futbolista. You're a soccer player? For real? That's your excuse? I mean, like, okay. But it was nice to see some comedy. I will say, it was nice to see some comedy. But moving on, we need to talk about Samu and Ari because they were a whole mess. I feel like a lot of people were a whole mess this season, but in the best way possible. Maybe not for Samu. If you've seen the season, you know what happens to him. But I'm not a fan of their relationship. I never really was. And I really just don't like it this season because it's giving kind of toxic. Like, Samuel is putting Ari in a very awkward position, being like, oh, I really want your dad to like me, but not because of you, but because of me. So can you please like stop doing what you're doing because I want to please your dad? And Ari's kind of just like, are you here for my dad, for me? And he's like, both. Which then puts strain on their relationship, and I'm kind of like, okay, I get it, because like that's weird. But then Ari goes and she meets Yvonne. The day she meets Yvonne, he kisses her, which weird, and she's bewitched. Y'all shared one kiss that was unprovoked, that you seem to not even like. You all of a sudden are feeding for this random guy that your brother is clearly interested in, and I'm like, oh, okay, I mean, I guess. And honestly, it's in character for her, because even Samu calls it out and says like, I was Yvonne once, I was the guy that your boyfriend didn't have to worry about, and now you're doing this behavior. And I'm like, okay, Ari, what's going on here? And then can we talk about the boat scene? It's giving Outer Banks the way that Yvonne and Ari just go out and make it on a boat. And I'm like, oh, okay, all right. I guess we're going here. I guess this is what's happening now. But I really just did not like that whole love square that was going on this season between Samuel, Ari, Yvonne, and Patrick, because I'm just like, what? This is gross. This is gross. Like, the degrees of separation between all of them is just kind of icky for me. Just for me, you know. I don't know about you, but that didn't quite sit right with me and my soul. But overall, I feel like this was just like a really bad season for couples on this show, because besides Patrick, I feel like, because he actually ends up with homeboy, but like with our other lovely gay couple between Rebe and Mencia, like I'm like, what's going on here? What is going on here? Like the way every single episode, at least twice, they're back on and off. I'm kind of like, what's going on? What's going on? At this point, I really just do not know if they are toxic for each other or not. Like I honestly just think they need to move on. Like I think they need to give it up, because there's just so many things that don't work now between them, but also do work between them. I'm really just kind of confused. Like Rebe is literally just chilling, like she's trying to mind her own business. Meanwhile, Mencia just keeps popping up different places and playing these games and not really ever showing out for Rebecca. Homeboy Sammy did the exact same thing to her, of like not showing her the attention and affection that she needs. And now Mencia is doing the exact same thing and not showing up for her. I'm like, damn, homegirl just needs a break. She's just trying to live life. She's just trying to graduate at this point. Honestly, good for her, because they need it, honestly. Truly. But yeah, they really need to figure their stuff out. Now that was like the good of this season. Let's talk about some of the characters that I personally did not care for this season. Starting off, Omar, what is going on? Like this is the first season where Omar has to stand alone. I feel like besides in like season 1, like Omar is standing alone this season and he's just being annoying. He's so annoying this season. And I get it's because he's like struggling with long distance or whatever, but like literally the entire plot of this season is on the fault of Omar, just because Omar was just being so annoying. And like I get like he was really trying to help out that one kid, and that's like admirable to do, but you're putting that random stranger's life and times over your friends, because you wonder why your friends leave you out of these murder situations that they tend to get themselves in every single season. Now you know why, because if they've been doing this for 4 seasons now, do you not think that they know what they're doing? Like why would you come on the scene and be like, we need to call the cops. We need to call the cops. The cops need to know. Like, you know who this man is? You know why he kicked the bucket? Like, he does not need to be found. And if it went Rebecca's way, they would have done something. They would have known what to do. They would have known what to do. I don't know what they would have done, but they would have known to do it, because they've done it before and they'll do it again. I just feel like it was really selfish of him to pressure Samu into calling the cops through like their shattered friendship. I'm just like, really? This is what we're doing right now? We're doing this over a body right now? I don't like that. I don't like that. Moving on, another character I just really did not like this season was Philippe, and the way that they handled Philippe. Like with Cayetana, loved Cayetana. Cayetana finally got the redemption that she needed, I feel, after the whole Polo situation, and then Philippe, like she just had a string of bad choices. But now she's like got her redemption arc where she's like finally healing and learning to like live in love within her means, and love that for her. But for Philippe, I feel like they kind of just dismissed all of the very serious claims against him. Like they're like, oh, he needs to be held accountable, but he never really is. All he really does for himself, if you think about it, he stops drinking and he did not take advantage of his sleeping girlfriend when everyone else was. So I'm like, okay, why are you being applauded for that? That's quite literally the bare minimum. Nothing's really been done for you or to you because of everything, and I feel like it kind of needs to. And everyone is a little too forgiving, because there are still multiple women out there that are like, yeah, he did this to me. And like, he's like trying to change. And like, how can you change without actually ever addressing what the problem is to begin with? Like, it just isn't adding up, and I feel like they're forgiving him way too easily, especially like the new girl, Isadora. Like, she was cool, and what happened to her at the end of the season was completely awful. Like, for the majority of the season, I was kind of like, not gonna lie, it's kind of giving pick me. Like, why are you spearheading this movement of trying to rebuild this credibility? You know, I don't like that. And I feel like that leads very well into my next point that I want to talk about, just the general theme of this season of daddy issues and male validation, because that literally is what this season is comprised of. That is what is driving 99% of the plot this season, in my opinion. Let me break it down, because that's a very bold claim. I just think each character's individual motivations and the reasons that they're clashing with each other is because either their daddy issues or their thirst for male validation are all coming out at the same time, and they're conflicting with each other because they're all trying to really achieve something that they ultimately will never get in the way that they're thinking. And let me explain. For Samuel, the whole conflict between him and Ari and all that are because of his daddy issues. He never really had a father growing up, and now he's finally getting a father figure, so he's tripping, bending over backwards to try and appease this random stranger who was actually caring for him for once, but with deceptive things in there, you know? And Mincy is kind of doing the similar thing of where she's trying to please her father. Like, she's really just trying to please her father because that relationship last season was so broken, and she's really just trying to move forward, and that is where she's really pouring herself into pleasing her father for a good bit of the season. And then that's contrasted with Ari, who is then seeking the validation and attention from Yvonne because she's not getting it from her boyfriend, right? And Yvonne is a whole different case because he really craves that intimacy and validation from Patrick, but doesn't allow himself to actually feel that because he's feeling the pressure from his father and society to not be who you are and end up being with Patrick. There's layers to this, right? Then we get into Isadora, who's looking for some kind of external validation because she's not able to like really provide that for herself at the moment. She puts that into Philippe. And then Omar just kind of wants to just be needed in general. Kind of sad, but also this season you're a little weird. But as you can see, there's like a lot of different pieces. Seeing these daddy issues and this need for male validation be so prevalent, and it's really important that we point that out and we really see that, because I feel like that's an underlying lesson that we should be taking away and learning from, because if anything, it's just showing what happens when you try and achieve that and try too hard to go for that, because Samu went off the deep end. Like, he was trying way too hard to have a father figure. He was trying way too hard to try and please Ari's dad to the point where he gets bonked upside the head. I'm just like, you are compromising your character for this man. For what? Like, that decision that he made to go back to the house really just set me off, because I'm like, why would you do that? You had everything you needed in your hands. Like, you don't want to break up their family. Okay, their family's already broken. Does anyone really like each other in that family? Like, you're doing the right thing. You're saving yourself, you know? It's just strange behavior. It really just genuinely is strange behavior. And that finale scene really just did show all of that. We see like the two groups split apart. We see the dad finally getting arrested. Like, thank God, hopefully something happens next season. And there's just like this clear divide between everybody. And I really just hope next season they figure their stuff out. And most importantly, I hope that they graduate, because it's been way too long. I said this in the beginning, but season 6, please be the finale. Like, please wrap it up. Like, I love Elite Down, but please wrap it up. Let this be the 6th and final season. Let these kids graduate. The way that they won't let these kids leave, they won't let them grow up. Like, Samuel at this point is a super duper senior. Like, please, I'm begging. And honestly, that actually makes me think, how old are they at this point? Because I feel like Samuel, Omar, and all that, they have to be older than 18 at this point, right? Like, they have to be pushing like 19, maybe 20, being held back this many times. With that perspective, thinking about them dating these high schoolers is kind of like, oh, interesting. Need a fact check. I need to check the wiki. I feel like those are all of my thoughts and opinions on Elite Season 5. I would love to hear what you thought about it down in the comments below. Again, if you're new and you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video, because that helps out a lot, and to follow me on my socials here at imuRgency. Other than that, y'all, thank you so much for watching. I've been imuRgency, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.